Yeah, hi. Good evening, friends. My name is Vaibhav Maitre. I'm the co-founder of OOZ Global, which is a community-driven platform. It's an OTT platform, and I'm the executive director for SDLC, which is Sustainable Development Leaders Council. It's a UNDP-defined body in India. And today we are here to have a meaningful dialogue on gender equality. We have a lovely panel with us here. MX Ria Sharma, you can call her they or them. Uh, she is a TEDx speaker, LGBTQI youth activist, and she is also a co-founder at this young age of Jimmy Foundation for Equality. Ria is working towards creating awareness about issues of gender and sexuality at various platforms through workshops, advertisements, short films, and they've been training speakers for the youth organizations from the past 2 years. MX Sharma was the part of collaboration between Aniket Production and House on Moons, where they had produced their story Split Ends, having acted for the Camco chocolate campaign. They were also a part of Closet, a documentary film screened at the Kanishk Film Festival. So that's about MX Ria Sharma. Second panelist which we have is Yash Srivastava. Yash is a compulsive doodler and an avid blogger. And as a child, he had a good fortune to travel all across because of his family's defense background. So that's about Yash. Yash has been associated with the Jimmy Foundation, and he's studying creative writing at the School of Culture and Creative Expression, Ambedkar University, Delhi. And he's busy writing the first draft of a series of fiction fragments set in his hometown, Lucknow. So that's about Yash. The third lovely lady on the screen is Vandana Naran. So Vandana is an image coach and a soft skill trainer who has worked, with various clients, and she has been associated with the field of image consulting for last 20 years, and she has been training a lot of individuals on fashion and fabulous, uh, outlook, and she's a soft skill trainer and a coach. So that's about Vandana, MX Ria, and Yash. So without any further delay, let's have a meaningful interaction on gender equality with all of you. So, guys, my first question with regarding to gender equality to MX Ria. Ria, how did you break the traditional norm of society and become successful at this age? I mean, please.
So, first of all, thank you, Eva, for inviting me for this session because it is very important. And for people like Yash and me who have battled through our lives to finally live our lives freely as gender non binary and queer persons, it's very important to have this conversation. So, first of all, personally, I think being openly gender fluid in the field was in itself a very difficult task. To every time go up to people and make them understand that whenever you use refer to me by the pronouns they and them was the first task that I have to do everywhere. Which is valid because we have to spread knowledge, we have to spread awareness. So I think as a speaker and as a youth activist, first of all, being gender fluid was an entire ball game because people wouldn't accept a person who identifies differently. A lot of times in the industry, our labels, our identities are the only, the only labels that people refer us to. Uh, our skills get pushed away. Our identities are the only things that they see. But a lot of times we forget that we are much more than being queer or we are much more than being gender fluid. And I think that idea really helped me. I gave myself time to understand the activism industry, the training industry, and then realize that if I had something to give, and if I'm good at my skills, then my identity wouldn't matter. So, as a gender fluid individual, it was difficult, definitely, but with help of Harish, with the help of Yash, I could reach a point where my skills were all that mattered to people, and so I don't really have to prove my identity to them. but just give my module and say that this is what I do and this is what I have to give you. So I think that was how I coped up with the entire difficulty and eventually found a place in the industry. Yeah.
Great. That's a great learning from you. So, Yash, you've been associated with the movement of LGBTQI. Uh, how did you start the whole thing? I mean, you being an architect student, moved into a direction which was never part of any defense protocol. So, how the whole idea started, and what inspired you to move into this direction? Yes, you are in on mute right now.
Uh, it wasn't. Yeah, so I was saying that it wasn't inspiration as much as it was circumstance because I remember quitting architecture in my second year because like I was having a ball there doing design projects, and it was fun. But then what happened was that I had a manic episode, which is a which is a phase of bipolar disorder, which is unfortunately an ailment that I'm suffering from. So that from there, like my life shifted to my hometown here in Lucknow, and I had to chart uh, my my way from there. And so like it wasn't in any protocol, let alone a defense protocol. But yeah, here I am. I mean, I after I finished my bachelor's, I remember uh, uh, you know. Attending all these sessions on LGBTQIA. One of them was where the speaker was Ria, I remember, and I was really inspired by what she spoke about fluidity, and I remember feeling like some of the things that she was talking about, feeling it inside me as well. And so I decided to. I met Harish there as well, and we decided to take forward a certain aspect of what we wanted to tell people, and what we wanted to share with them, and what we wanted them to share with us, and so it happened. Uh, that's how Jimmy Foundation happened. That's how our sensitization uh, uh, was able to go through, and yeah.
So yes, what you are doing is out of sheer passion, I believe. Did you ever decide? Did you ever think about your bread and butter? I mean, Jimmy Foundation. I'm sure you're doing again a very noble effort. You're putting a lot of effort there as well.
I mean, I am very privileged. I don't have to worry about bread and butter. I can just come home and my mother's there with more than bread and butter. She's there with sabzi roti and whatnot, which again is playing into a stereotype. But then that's what my mother does. She cooks for us, and she provides. And so I have people. My father is here as well, where I'm living right now, and they're
Mm.
here to take care of me. So I don't. That's not something I have to worry about. So like I can. I'm that gives me space to think about other things, to think about what I really want to do, and yeah.
So, do they
So
support you in whatever you are doing, or what are their reaction? What are their opinion about the initiatives which you are involved in?
uh, they are I think ever since my mania, they have tried to really understand me. Uh, they have tried to figure out what it is about, what and from there they have developed a sort of sensitivity which is in some senses unparalleled, and I have been lucky that way, and they have uh, they are they're not 100% there with all my harebrained schemes, but in most of the cases they are there to support me if I fall. So that is what is essential, I think.
Great, yeah, good to hear from you. So coming to Vandana now, I mean, at this age, young age, you decided to choose a career which is motivating people and teaching, training them, which is the most difficult task. So I believe you may be having a long following, such a pretty woman standing out in front of them. So why did you moved into this career? What made you decide this as a career?
Um, First, thank you for letting me on this show. And they and them and Yash, you are very inspiring. I think I really don't do much. आप लोग जो करते हैं. So yes, I have a long story to go with. Yeah, as a woman, I had to fight through a lot. Past 20 years, I stood as I was running a boutique for 9 years in a very pronounced market in our Delhi, GK, where
Mm-hmm.
I stood. My store was so small, like it's a 60 square feet store I had, and I have. And, I was every day working, 7 days working, round the clock working, so that I have clients. And I landed up having like the best of the clients I could expect from Delhi. And yes, that inspired me. And well, I fought to stand on my feet further, and I went on becoming the only vice president of that market, lady, which was a big thing for people back then in 2000. This was about 2006 or something. And yes, the story went on, and then things went on, and I felt that when I'm dressing up people and how they feel about the authenticity that I get into them, the accuracy, the way they all look up to me for everything. It's not even classy styling. It was their jewelry, it was their walking, it was their talking, where occasionally they are going. And then I found this place that they do have courses like this where you know we can define ourselves as image consultants. And yes, I took that course up. And of course, yes, you're privileged, as he said, bread and butter. Yes, that was never a consideration for me back then. And, enjoying the fruitfulness of the life and the fruities that come with it was amazing. And yes, with age, I realized that, yeah, I should have taken it easier then, to stand now. And I am standing back on my feet, fighting up, going down all the way again, coming back again. Yeah, the life has been a good rough. Thank you for that. Thank you for going.
Interesting. So, Vandana, we need to understand one more thing. I mean, amazing. Clap to you. So, just one single question out of curiosity, which I am asking you. Uh, Image consultant, when we were at school, college, way back, 20, 25 years back, that was not the term which exists, right? And I'm sure now it's a complete business. I don't know how big is your team, but is it managed single-handedly by you, or you have a team to support you with this?
So I'm a freelance trainer personally, and as I do not need like there are certain subjects where I need other trainers to come into. Like I may wear various hats for various things, but there are other expertise for everything. I'm experts in few of those training coaches. Aspects. However, there are certain places where I need trainers, then I ask for help from outside. However, up till now, thankfully, I have only got my clients, my one-to-one, my corporates, where the subjects are related to me. Because at the first interview, I tell them, this is what I do, and this is my forte, and you're going to give me work in this. If yes, it's okay. If it's not, I'm okay. So I'm pretty clear with my subject level. Coming back to back then, 20, 25 years back, it was more like personality development. And
Mhm.
people were not aware that time of अपने बारे में लोग नहीं सोच रहे थे. They were always like thinking about family, children. Women never thought about themselves at all. And I remember traveling in when I was 12 years old, and I traveled to US with a friend of mine and their family. People were so well dressed and casually well dressed. And when I came back and I was relating, I remember this very particularly. Maybe I'm I was born to do this, born to give people the right way of being happy with their clothing. And I just realized we as Indian women don't really take care of ourselves, uh, and we don't do much. Over the years, past 10 years, if you've seen, the market has completely changed. People have changed.
Absolutely.
Now everybody is putting effort into themselves, their diets, their workouts. So that made me feel more happy because I came into the market at the right time, because and yes, we need to change with time, and this realization has definitely come in each one. And time is the only thing that keeps on changing, and we have to change with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. So coming back to you, Ria, I wanted to understand from you the moment you explain MX Ria, they and them. I think that's a conversation breaker, and you don't require much of an effort to break the conversation with the moment you introduce yourself.
Yeah.
So how TEDx happened, and I mean, how big is that platform for you, and what is the reaction of people? When you meet them and explain them.
So I think Weber, first of all, as you said, like my entire name, MX Riya Sharma, and I go by the pronouns they and them. So whenever somebody is referring to me, they would say, Riya is coming over. They are a TEDx speaker. So
Mm.
those are my pronouns. MX Riya is my name. MX because I am gender fluid. So I
Mhm.
sometimes feel as a woman, sometimes as a man, sometimes as both, and sometimes as none. That's how I express myself. That's how I feel. When I was 16 years old, I entered the area of activism, and I realized that a lot of people don't have role models to look up to in the LGBT family. When I was growing up, I didn't have a role model, and the representation that we have right now in India is very screwed, and
Mhm.
it's not the right kind of representation of the LGBT community. Our lives are not limited to finding our soulmates or the battles that we have to fight. It's also about following your passion, your career. The only
Absolutely.
representation that we have of the LGBT community is is of is wrong, and it humiliates the entire community. So I wanted
Mm.
to be that kind of role model for young children and youth to really find a safe space. So I think for TEDx for me was the biggest thing that could ever happen at the age of 20, and it was very special because I wanted to do that for a very long time. I
Mhm.
had seen TEDx talks when I was growing up, and I saw TEDx talk of Harish, of Parmesh Sahani, which really helped me to battle through my dysphoria with my identity. And so I think when I stepped on the red dot, as it's called, and I was really nervous about it, but I reminded me one thing, that it's not about me, but it's about all the children and all the youth who are struggling through their identity, who many of them end their lives just because they cannot find acceptance. Or there
Mhm.
are people who are bullied. Like I was bullied in school, and I was a victim of online abuse, just because I didn't find a safe space for myself. So at that point of time, I reminded myself all that had happened to me, so
Mhm.
that that speech would really have an impact on the children and on the next generation. So I feel that that was really important for me. And after that, I got more opportunities to do TEDx talks, to do Josh talks. And with Josh talk, because it was in Hindi, it reached out to more people than TEDx talks. And that really helped me because I was able to reach out to more people in the marginalized areas, in villages, who could still see that video, but
Mhm.
didn't know anything about the LGBT community. So I feel that really inspired me. And after that, I've been doing sessions in schools to make teachers understand how to talk to their children about gender neutrality, sexuality, or empathy. So I think that's been my journey and my journey of TEDx talks. So yeah.
Great. Really inspiring. So, question for Yash. I mean, it's very prominent in the society. Women has a rivalry with women. Men as again looking men as a competitor. But when it comes to the community where you are operating in, that itself is full of challenges. So you being a male, you've been associated with LGBTQ. You understand the pain because of the reason, the natural reasons, and how do you see the challenges of both the genders, so male as well as females, and you see you fitting in and being a voice about those two genders as well?
Uh, well, Vaibhav, I wouldn't say that male and female are matlab, in at the they're I wouldn't say that they're genders per se. It's and also like that. I would also like to like remind people that there are more than two genders, uh, and uh,
Sorry.
and
So
so
I repeat my question. I think I have taken the question to a different direction. My question to you is, again, I'm resubmitting the question and rephrasing the question. There are rivalries when it comes to female. There are challenges or competition between males in the male dominated society. But when it comes to LGBTQ, I don't see that. I mean, it's a very supportive, conducive environment. And you being a male associated with this environment, how do you see the total ecosystem?
well, like you said, it is supportive. It is uh, I mean the way uh, I mean the bondings that exist within the community are like beyond uh, words. You can't put them in words. You can't say ki, oh, like that's how good it is, and
Hmm.
that's how and they manifest themselves in quite different ways than what is what exists outside. So I I don't know. I mean, that's how we, because when there's like uh, when there's like hatred from the outside, one has to bind together and come together and uh, and fight against it, so to
Mhm.
speak. So yeah.
So, can I add something to what Yash said?
Yeah. Please.
So a lot of times, like what Yash was trying to explain earlier, also was when we enter the workspace. A lot of times, like sex is male, female, how you're what you're assigned at birth. Gender is what you feel about yourself. So for me, I was assigned female at birth, but later on I came out as gender fluid. So a lot of times when we enter workspaces, we are recruited as tokens for for companies. They want a queer person in their organization, or they want a trans person in their organization. A lot of times we go there, and Yash would have had experiences like that, I'm sure, where we are there, but they don't know the sensitivity of our entire life. So if a trans person is there, you have to sensitize the entire community as to how you have to refer to them. So if they are a trans woman, then all the people should know that she would go to a women's washroom, about that, or how would they be referred. So a lot of times we have to go there as tokens, and they don't know how to how to be sensitive towards the entire community. And a lot of times we get, because of the discrimination that corporates have, even for recruitment, and even when we go inside the organization, I think we limit ourselves to LGBTQ spaces, then working in NGOs or the companies that LGBT people have. I think we have to constantly, narrow ourselves to only those options. What we want to do is to normalize our skills. We are not just queer individuals doing queer work. We are queer individuals doing great work in our own spaces. So I think that's one thing that I wanted to add.
So I have a question, Ria, counter to this. It's all about your sexual orientation. I mean, beyond that, it's you are a normal human being and with the same feelings, same expressions. Everything is same. It's just about your orientation towards a particular gender, and that should not be the stopping point for any corporate to not consider or behave differently. that is personally my view. I have worked in media for so long, and I have seen all sort of attractions. So be it bisexual or heterosexual. So it's all about your orientation towards a particular gender. And if you're saying there is a differentiation there as well, community feel threatened even at the workplace, then I mean, I need to ask Vandana, have you ever in your space uh, felt threatened because of this environment, this
Number of
challenge?
times, number of times. And you know what? The saddest part is it's not the society that really matters. It's the people
Hmm.
who live with us matters the most.
Hmm.
And as a woman, I have felt 100 times the difference between a male and a female. I don't know what this male female concept is right here in our mind. We are
Absolutely.
individuals. We are humans. I mean, just because you feel you have an extra organ, you become like the superpower natural person. And we
Hmm.
as women who are multitasking, working 24 hours, and listening to our parents, listening to the
More than a
society,
man, actually.
listening to the society, the kind of pressure we deal with every day, the kind of you say abuses in a way we as a woman we get, not personal, like in a actual manner, but it's an abuse to a woman when you say, what are you doing? There is nothing that you do. We see, we work. These
Hmm.
words hurt somewhere down. It's a psychological abuse that because being a man or being in the society, first of all, people don't realize our gods and goddesses, we worship all goddesses for everything. Whether it is Lakshmi, Durga, they are all women. And when it is coming to why put that LGBT society aside? They are also humans. They have their own feelings. They have created their own feelings. Why shove them down? And why, the basic knowledge, the basic problem I feel is literacy. We don't educate our kids from childhood that it's normal to be human, not a boy
Absolutely.
or a girl. And
Hmm.
if you tell a girl, go pick up the tray, put it in the kitchen, why can't I tell my son, go put the tray into the kitchen? Because usually I have seen in many families, of course I've seen in mine too, that girls are being told, beta ye karao, do this, go there, put this. And the boy is like sitting right there doing nothing. And I'm like, and I've always stood for myself, and I will continue to. And I said, no, this is not only my job. If I will cook, he will cook, she will cook, he will cook. So we all
Hmm.
have to train ourselves, educate ourselves, and love each other, respect each other for whatever they are.
Very well said, Vandana. So, I mean, I believe this is more geography specific. This is a problem which is more towards the developing countries and not so much to the developed countries because they have already grown up and they have already adopted the environment. Do you agree with me on this, guys? I mean, this question is with everyone. Beyond
Vandana,
India,
would you like to go
different
ahead? Sorry.
countries, do you think this exists?
No, I think it's all over the world. I have lived in
Yeah.
US for a couple of years, and I have seen the same holding everywhere, everywhere. It's the same pattern followed. It may be more modernized in Western countries, saying like we are modern, we are busy, but the weekends are same. So it's
Okay.
everywhere same. And trust you me, the world needs to educate themselves every day, telling themselves we are humans and not a male and a female. And parenting is very important here. Parenting, I think, is the root importance where, in India, it's very funny that, girls are grown with this mindset, oh, we have to marry you and we have to send you. Now, after that sending, that gamble they play, they don't realize what the girl is going to go through in that house with new people, everything. Oh, and then they put it very sweetly on our karma. And so you all believe about karma, right? I find karma very interesting, is what I do today. I'm talking to you all, lovely meeting all of you, is how I leave my impact on you for you to call me back tomorrow. So that is my
Absolutely.
karma. So
Yeah.
of course, parents, as you know, and one who stands for themselves, bad girl, very bad. She did not listen. She doesn't listen. So this is society, you know. Society kills you. What do you say?
Hmm.
Yeah.
What do you want to say? You're smiling. You have another version, or you want to support what Vanna is talking about?
I think all of it. Like, I was assigned female at birth, and I was expected to be a woman later on in life. Although, I was that rebellious person who did not eventually, conform to every standard that was put in front of me, literally. And I came out as gender fluid, and I think that that's definitely there, and that's what I do when I work with children. I love working with children because I know that there's this opportunity to make the future generation better. And something that I've learned working with children is that they won't discriminate because they are a blank slate. And the biases are what we write on these blank slates. When I
Mhm.
asked a child if they would still talk to a person who loves a boy, who's a boy and who loves a boy, he's like, "हाँ क्या फर्क पड़ेगा if he shares his tiffin with me? I don't care who he loves." So they are
Lovely.
just so innocent. So I think that's one thing. And the second, what you asked was, the glass ceiling is everywhere. And when we talk about the LGBT community, and when we talk about trans sensitivity in corporates, a lot of times when trans people, first of all, trans people are not, are not taken up in their companies because they feel that trans individuals don't have degrees, they don't have the right kind of documents. How would we, recruit them and stuff like that? Even if they get into it, I feel that there's abuse, there's discrimination, especially for, trans individuals because they have to go through so much. And if they are undergoing a gender affirmation surgery, then there's more and more complications to it. And a lot of
Mhm.
times corporates are not sensitive to it. When it comes to LGBT or women, you have to be conscious. You have to take conscious efforts to be inclusive. You can't be like, oh, inclusivity will come. When we are inclusive in general, we don't have to do anything. But we live in India where it's discrimination persists, and you have to take initiatives.
But
So I think that's
do you believe in the institution of marriage by any chance? Do you think in a near future you may have pressures from the family to get married and settle with a family? Do you
uh,
see that
I
happening?
I think I personally, with the kind of spiritual background I have, I'll definitely marry the woman of my life and settle
Uh-huh.
down if this country allows me.
Yeah.
For which I think all of us are fighting for. So I think
Uh-huh.
I will, and my parents would be more than happy if I settle down.
So I have another question. Sorry, Yash, to keep you waiting. These ladies are, keeping me busy to ask these questions. So we have been seeing, women pulling leg, being a mother-in-law, or whatever. I mean, in whatever manner, being a female boss, managing a female subordinate. I have seen that in my career. 25 years, I've been seeing this. So, oh, in the space you are in, do you think that also at some point of time happened? Because the woman in your life may have a mother. I mean, of course, she'll have a mother, and that will be a mother-in-law. So, do you think that challenge would come to you as well as an individual, as a daughter-in-law?
Uh, I
Do
mean,
you think that,
if
that exists, number one, and do you think that that would impact you as well?
I think these kind of ideas are there, and I think it also comes from a very cis heterosexual male point of view. That's what I personally feel, because I think amongst women, I had been dating for 4 years, and I was in a beautiful relationship where I had a great bond with my partner's mother too, and we were in a lesbian relationship, and her mother was awesome, and I've had great times with her. So I think it comes from a fact of acceptance. If, as Vandana said, we all are human beings, and even amongst women, if we really understand that all of us are human beings living in the country, living in a very patriarchal country, sharing very similar struggles, then I think
Mm-hmm.
empathy will build. One thing is, I think patriarchy is a lot into women also. That's what I've seen. That okay,
Mm-hmm.
men are patriarchal, but women are too. So there are mothers who would still discriminate between their girls and their sons. So I think that's very ingrained. And second, I think if I fall in love and if I happen to marry, then I hope that my mother-in-law understands the struggles that I have, and we have a sit
Mm-hmm.
talk and we get to discuss about mental health, about empathy, and about partnership. That's what I feel. Yeah,
Great. So it's basically a individual's orientation and reaction to the whole thing.
I think
Yes,
so.
coming to you, a very stringent question. I mean, we realize that in a patriarchy system, men doesn't ask for permission, wherein women always look forward or are supposed to ask for permission. So
Yeah.
in your environment, in your ecosystem, at your place, do you think, have you ever noticed that exist? Men always believe that he is a decision maker, and they expect, within family, maybe your mother or sister or anyone female in the family,
Yeah.
ask. So do you think that is very prominent and that exists?
Yeah, certainly. Like there are differences between my sister and me going out.
Mhm.
When I do, like, I'm allowed to. Uh, Not just because I'm older, also because, like, I'm a boy. And she, well, for her it's unsafe. Nahi, tum nahi ja sakti. And more than unsafe, it's also like, what sort of license is she liable to get into? Like, and stuff that shouldn't, I feel, really be maybe the business of my folks, is what
Mhm.
they would like to know. They to with her life they'll be nosy. With mine they will not. Certainly there are those distinctions there, but uh, that said, there's also, I mean, again, uh, uh, like, coming from a perspective where I'm male, I can also see that uh, there are certain ways in which you are asked to be more masculine, in which you're expected to be, this person who, like, I mean, the simplest example is ki, matlab, boys don't cry is the adage, but but more than that, there is ki, you're the one who's expected to, like, stand up, defend. You're the one who's asked to make decisions, even if you don't want to do that, even if that's something that you want to leave to uh, the females of your of around you. So, I mean, wouldn't that be a better scenario? Honestly, I mean, and so, like, I mean, if I may, going to, like, my own past, like, I realized that there have been instances where uh, like, I remember, like, being the quietest and the most the most silent boy in the class, but still being asked to stand on a bench, and the girls not being asked to stand on a bench, and me wondering ki, why is this distinction being made in the first place? Why is there a distinction between the boy and the girl? Why shouldn't there be a distinction between ki jo bol raha hai ya jo nahi bol raha hai class mein? And
Absolutely.
so, corporal punishments are a thing that have irked me, that have at times broken me in school, and continue to haunt me. Yeah.
So are you
So,
saying girls have some advantage because of the gender?
uh, that's not how I'm putting it. No. Uh,
No,
they have.
I'm referring my question to again, Vandana, if that is what you're saying.
I'm saying patriarchy affects both boys and girls, and it affects both of them in adverse ways.
But
So,
don't you think
I
that
don't.
needs a change? Because there are a couple of other thoughts. The day we decided to do a session on gender equality, one of my fellow colleagues, she asked me, why Kanyadan? Why not boy dan? I mean Putra dan. So I
Hmm.
mean
I totally.
that's a very basic and innocent question. Why it's
Yeah.
all Kanyadan? Why only a woman will go to a men's house and why a man will not go to a woman's house? I
I've
mean,
always thought, considering that there's a skewed sex ratio, why shouldn't men be giving, shouldn't the man's family be giving dowries to the woman's family?
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
In,
these
in
are questions that
Islam,
keep.
so I don't want to get into a community debate, but in Islam, there is something called, meher. And meher is like a security which a woman's father asked that in any case, any point of time in life, you leave my daughter, then she should have a financial security so that she can live, or she can use that money as per her choice. But I think the discussion in other religions is very different from what Islam believes in, and again, they are not even following this very.
So,
So, what do you want to say, Vandana, on this? I mean,
so now
why
they're
not
signing up
Kanyadan,
this.
why not Putradan?
See, I come from a family of five sisters and one brother. So I
Uh-huh.
think we all came because of him.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
we laugh it out at our mom, It's like we all just came one after the other because of your little one, huh? And we laugh it out. And we all are married now. We all are happily settled in our own families, struggled our own ways up there to be happy. And I personally feel it's a I would actually call it a very bad mindset,
Mm-hmm.
because whoever did this, or whoever created this, obviously would be a person who didn't want the power to go away, and of course he led the legacy further and further, and it became like, barso se chala aa raha hai. So it is how the tradition is. It is how the good thing is, many, where you asked me, Western countries, the difference in Western countries are the kids at the age of 16 are told to do summer jobs, half jobs. So they are told that, if you are about allowed, if you make certain amount of money, you can do your college. We would pay some amount of your college, and rest you have to do. So the responsibility is given to both women and men and everyone else there to do and take their own responsibility. However, in our country, it is the saddest. The boys are feeded like a baby till he's 50 also. He's like a mama's baby. And the women are supposed to be the women who have to just behave like the women. I mean, I hardly understand. If you actually see the way women are treated here, कि शादी कर दी, पढ़ा दिया, भेज दिया, and that's all is their responsibility. Or if you, I just said that, of course, if you have a problem, then it's your karma and you have to settle down in it. This is your husband, this is your mother-in-law, this is your father-in-law, that's your house, you have your own chat. I mean, why are women born, and why are we born? I feel very sad actually sometimes that, talking to a couple of people actually, Weber, I've been talking on the same topic with a lot of women, and I've been counseling actually, and we have been discussing, and all of them have a very similar and a very same issue, that parents who marry them have taken off the responsibility. They feel sad. Oh, it's very sad. They feel very touched with the problems the women go through, their children go through, their daughters go through. However, at the same time, they're supposed to go through it because that's how it is. That's life. We have gone through. The funniest is, we all are elders. Maybe I would do that in few years. I don't know. I don't know about that. But maybe, they start. If you say, we had this problem working, no money, we had to work, we had to struggle, we had to ask. When mama feels really bad, and if we use the, हाँ बेटा, हमने भी यही किया था, हमें भी बहुत साल लगे अपने हस्बैंड को मनाने में, अपने काम करने में हमें भी बहुत समय लगा, हमने तो पता है छत के बगैर काम किया हुआ है. आई वंडर व्हाट वर दे डूइंग छत के बगैर और दरवाजों के बगैर इन द हाउस. सो इट्स काइंड ऑफ their struggles are their struggles. They don't, we as you people do not realize our struggles are our struggles. Respect them. If you can't do anything about it, listen. And if you're listening and you still can't do anything about it, don't make a mockery by saying that हमारे टाइम पे ऐसा था, हमारे टाइम पे वैसा था. Yeah, we actually live in past, think about future, and आज तो हम गवा ही देते हैं. I think we
Well,
just live on present time.
well, the pain has come out. I want to give a pause here, and last question to all three of you. And
Thank you.
I believe you'll be little extrovert on this. So what is that one change? Okay, given a choice, even in your family, around people around you, one change to bring back the gender equality you would like to see, and what is your suggestion? To start with, MX Surya, what is your view? What one change you would expect, and why, and from whom?
I think the change that I want is from everybody in our country, and every individual here who's listening to this session, and all of you also. That don't resist yourself from knowledge. If you don't understand LGBT, if you don't understand genders like transgender, gender fluid, be open to understanding it from professionals. Attend gender sensitization, conduct gender sensitization at your own colleges, homes, companies, and only when all of us understand that all humans are just humans and gender is just another layer of our identities, made woman, man, gender fluid, transgender. They're just one layer, and it does not define us as persons, it does not define us as people who work in workspaces. So I think let's be more empathetic, let's be more curious to know and understand more about the community and the struggles. That's something that I want.
Great, great. Your take, Yash, on this?
Uh, well, yeah, of course. My what I'd like to change is for the Awadh Queer Pride to go from this place to my locality, so that like my parents get to see what a pride is, because they refused to come to this pride this year. They were like, "Hey." So yeah, that would be interesting. That's one change. Yeah, small one, but I think would be significant.
Great. Vandana, what about you? What one change as a mother, as a wife, or as a female, you would like to see, and that expectation is from whom?
I don't expect anybody to do anything for myself. That's one change I have made for myself. No expectations, so no pain. So, yeah, I'm quite happy. Yeah, I think one change I would like everybody to understand in today's dates with so much pain and so many people dying around us with the virus. I actually would like everyone to respect themselves and
Mhm.
love themselves. Very important is, and just pinch yourself every time you're feeling sad and tell them, oh, I'm alive, thank God. And gratitude is the most important aspect. I would like people to get a change in themselves, and love each other, because materialistic thing, I think by now everybody is understood, is not very important. um,
True.
Only thing is important is we as ourselves, and if we are happy, we'll be able to make everyone else happy.
Very well concluded, Vandana. I still remember, adding on to what you just said. I was talking to a spiritual guru, and my question to him was, Guruji, why love gives you pain? And a very simple answer he gave: when you have expectations from other person, it gives you pain. Stop expecting out of any relationship; it will not give you pain. Mother feed a child without any expectation, without any return out of it. So
Absolutely.
thanks for being such a lovely speaker panel. And I would love to have questions from the audience. I believe people are watching and they've been reacting. Harsh is very, very vocal about, so praising Yash and Ria. Guys, I mean, we'll just wait for a
Hi,
second if there
Harish.
are questions. Are there questions? Any questions? Oh, great. So people want to refrain from them asking the questions. But thank you so much, guys. Thanks, MX Priya. Thanks, Vandana. Thanks, Yash, for sparing time. We may again interact with you very soon to have more perspective on this subject. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
Wonderful.
Thank you
Lovely
thank
so
talking
much.
to you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, bye bye. Good day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.